James Dupre, welcome to the Music Universe. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. Lots to talk about. Let's start with this new album, August 22nd. It's all happening because it's all happening for you. After all of this press around everything that you're doing with Randy, which we'll get to in a minute, how does it feel to, be making the rounds as an artist yourself, putting out a full length project and to have something of your own to talk about?
It feels great. These songs specifically have been with me for a while. And so I'm just really excited to finally have them out there for the world. And, I deep down, I'm an artist, I'm a songwriter, and it's always great to throw some new songs out there and let the world hear it.
So tell me about it. You say they've been with you for a while. How long is a while? How long have you been working on this?
So these songs have been with me for most of my career. Since about 2010, I wrote a couple of the songs on there, and then a couple are covers, and then the rest were just songs that were pitched to me. And they were recorded a while ago, but it's just been one reason or another they haven't been released until this month. So I'm excited about it.
Very cool. Very cool. The you did something. At least I was reading. You did something a lot of artists don't do, and I'm curious about the thinking here. I think earlier this year you released an EP, and then you're going right into releasing this longer project. Tell me about the decision to sort of double up within 6 months. It's very rare in the streaming era to have that kind of output.
Yeah, well, it had been since 2020 since my last album was released, and
Sure.
it's just been. I feel like a lot. I feel like these songs have been burning a hole in my pocket. In other words, it's just. When we started this year, I knew that I wanted to put out this EP, and these were songs again that the EP were songs that I had recorded years ago that are finally being released. So I guess I just had all these songs kind of in a backlog, and I'm finally being able to release them. And so yeah, it's kind of a lot for in one year, but hopefully everybody has a chance to absorb them all.
That's awesome. And you've done something that's close to my heart because I come from a family of first responders. For 6 years, you were a paramedic. I bring that up to tie it to the music. How does that experience, and I know that can be a very harrowing experience, how does that tie into your songwriting and what you choose to record?
I think being a medic, and my father was a paramedic for 35 years, and
Oh,
so
wow.
I grew up in it. And being a medic, you really see people on sometimes the worst days of their life,
Hmm.
and it's really sobering to see that and to experience that. And I think music was always the opposite of that for me. It was to perform in front of people, everybody's having a great time, the times of their life, and not the other way around. And I think that just experiencing life and that growing up, kind of those growing up years that I had when I was a paramedic, I think that has a lot to do with how I choose songs or how I write songs.
Awesome. Speaking of choosing songs, I have to ask, I think you have a cover as the last song here, a Creedence cover, Who'll Stop the Rain, or is that correct? And how'd you choose to include that one on there?
Well, I grew up, my parents always had this. It was like a box set CD of Creedence Clearwater Revival greatest hits, and I just remember having that on a lot, during my childhood. And so I grew up a John Fogerty fan, and that one was always one of my favorites. And yeah, so it made it on the record, and I got to meet him when I was on The Voice,
Oh,
which
wow.
was probably the highlight of my whole experience there. So
Yeah,
that was really cool. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen him twice now, and he's as good as he was 40 years ago.
it's amazing.
It's just incredible. Now, was there any input from from Randy, from Randy's band, from anybody that you're working with on this more life project and tour for this record? Was that influenced in there at all?
Well, um, I would say the most who influenced this album is Kyle Lenning, the guy who produced it, who also
Sure.
produced Randy's music. And so he was basically with me from the get go. And although Randy didn't technically work on this album, I feel like he's in there, just kind of vibe wise, I guess, with Kyle producing it, and it has that traditional feel.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Let's talk about this Randy Travis tour. This you're doing it in a really unique way. Randy's on stage, you sing the songs, you're with his original band. How were you, for those that may not know, how did you come into contact with Randy and get to working with him and his camp?
Well, you might think it was through the producer Kyle Lenning, but it
Hmm.
actually was not. It was a completely unrelated thing. This lady named Kim Hughes out of around Dallas, Texas. She called me up or sent me an email one day saying that she wrote a screenplay for this like a short film basically, and
Sure.
she was pretty sure that she had Randy Travis secured for the lead role, and she wanted to know if I would play as a secondary role, which was his character's son. And it was out of the blue, because I told her, I said, I'm not an actor, but that sounds like a lot of fun. I would love to give it a shot. And so, long story short, I ended up going down there and meeting Randy for the first time on set, and we immediately hit it off. I was really nervous to meet him, but he pulls out a guitar pretty much in the first few minutes and starts playing this song that he had just written, and made me feel completely comfortable. And I was always very thankful to him for that. And anyway, we shortly after that was whenever he had the stroke, unfortunately.
Oh,
And then we kept in touch over the years. And then in 2019, I got a phone call one day from Mary and Randy, and Mary says, we're trying to get Randy back out on the road. It's been 6 years. He misses his band. He misses his fans. And we were wanting to know if you would come out on the road with us to present his music as the vocalist. And, I mean, wow, before I even thought about it, I said yes. And of course I did. I thought about it afterwards and realized, man, what did I get myself into, but no, it's been really fun, and it's been a huge honor.
that's awesome. It's almost a cliche question. You want to know what the vibe is like on the road, but for you and for this tour, I am genuinely curious because it is set up so uniquely to make sure he gets back out on the road and the music is presented. What has the fan reaction been like to these shows, and what kinds of things are you hearing as you're out there touring?
Well, when we first started in 2019, I honestly didn't know what to expect, and the fans didn't know what to expect, obviously. So um, in the years that we've been doing this, I've heard a lot of positive reactions, a lot of great. Some people says sometimes it's the best show they've ever been to, or it's just things like that people have said, and it's like I'm so happy that it's being received so well. And I knew going in that I wasn't going to be, I'm not going to try to sound like Randy. I'm not an impersonator or anything. I
Hmm.
was going to sound like me. But I think one of the reasons that I was picked to do this job is because Randy Randy was a big influence on me growing up, and so I think my sound and my tone and everything is sort of naturally been influenced by listening to him. And so anyway, I think it's been received very well, and I'm so thankful for that.
That's really awesome. And now, you've been your own artist for as long as you have, but now you get to release this full project first time since 2020 with everybody knowing you now as sort of Randy's the person who's given Randy his voice back. When you think about that role as the person who has participated in getting Randy back in the studio, getting Randy back on stage, how do you view your role in all of that and that responsibility? And when you sit in those quiet moments with yourself, what do you think of how you have let him have more life on the road?
Well, it's I still pinch myself sometimes, but I think, I try not to dwell too much on
Sure.
the enormity of it, because it is a big deal, and the full circle ness of it. Growing up listening to him, and now being on stage performing with him, and um, yeah, it's kind of mind boggling, and but I'm just thankful. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm just glad that it's going well.
It's really wonderful. Well, I'll be seeing you guys in October. But back to this album. What's next for James yourself? What are you going to be going out doing some solo shows? How are you going to be pushing this record out there on and giving yourself the opportunity to perform some of those tracks? Are there dates coming up that are just your dates?
Yes. So I just got off of doing a bunch of dates, like my dates over the summer, but we're
Mhm.
about to start the fall tour again with Randy. I am looking forward to kind of sprinkling in some of my shows through the fall and the winter as well. But after the new year, after the fall tour's over, not really sure yet. It's kind of up in the air, but I'm looking forward to getting back out on the road for sure.
That's really, really cool. Now, you said that these songs were recorded a while ago. Over what period of time is this album a collection of music from you?
So I recorded these songs these songs were released independently in 2010.
Okay.
So they were released for they were out there for maybe 30 days, a month or two. And then they were removed from streaming and they were unavailable since then. So we're releasing it 15 years later, as a new album, because technically it is. Most people haven't heard it yet. So, but I have been singing these songs since then.
That's really cool. That's actually a really cool story as an artist to sort of reclaim your music in that way. That's really, really cool.
It's unique for sure.
Oh yeah, I love that. Well, I wish you absolutely the best. Give us your socials. Make sure everybody can follow you.
Yeah, at James Dupre, Dupre. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Check out my old YouTube videos. I have a bunch from 20 years ago.
Sure. I love it. I cannot wait to see you. Hopefully get to say hello to you and Randy. I've known Randy's team for quite a while. So I'll be seeing you guys in October. And I can't wait to listen to this record when it comes out this Friday, August 22nd. You have your 11 track album. It's all happening. And really, it is all happening for you. All of the stuff over the last couple of years has put you in the spotlight in a really unique way. And thank you for coming on and sharing your story. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.